in a secluded corner of the forest, where sunlight filters through the dense canopy of a bamboo grove, a scene of pure tranquility unfolds. The tall, green stalks creak and whisper in the wind, creating a natural cathedral of light and shadow. Here, two magnificent male peacocks, their necks are deep royal blue and their folded trains a cascade of bronze and green, are engaged in a playful, almost balletic ritual. They move with an elegance that seems almost out of place in this rugged world, their heads held high, their powerful legs stepping lightly on the mossy ground. They are the kings of this grove, the undisputed masters of their small, peaceful kingdom. But peace in the wild is a fragile, fleeting thing. It is a quiet moment held in the breath before the storm. From the tangled undergrowth at the edge of the grove, a new presence emerges. A red fox, his fur the color of burnt autumn leaves, slinks into the clearing. His movements are a study in fluid dynamics, low to the ground, silent, with eyes that miss nothing. They are sharp, intelligent eyes, burning with a famished light. He is not here to admire the beauty of the peacocks. He is here on a mission of hunger, driven by the ancient, gnawing instinct to hunt. The moment the fox breaks cover, the atmosphere in the grove shatters. The playful dance ceases. The two peacocks snap to attention, their bodies tensing like coiled springs. The air, once filled with the gentle rustling of bamboo, now crackles with a palpable tension. The fox, seeing two large potential meals, hesitates for only a second before making his move. He charges. It is an abrupt, explosive burst of speed, a reddish-brown blur against the green bamboo. He expects to create panic, to scatter his targets and pick off the weaker one. But he has misjudged the spirit of these regal birds. Instead of fleeing, the peacocks stand their ground. In perfect, unspoken unison, they turn to face the intruder, and in a breathtaking display of defiance, they unleash their secret weapon. With a sound like 100 silk banners unfurling at once, they raise their magnificent trains. What was once a folded cascade of feathers becomes a towering, shimmering wall of iridescent art. 100 brilliant blue, green, and gold eyes stare back at the fox, creating a mesmerizing, almost hypnotic spectacle. It is a visual symphony of color and pattern, a grand declaration of their presence and their power. They flare their feathers, making themselves appear twice their actual size, and let out a series of sharp, guttural calls that echo through the bamboo, a clear and potent warning. The fox skids to a halt, momentarily stunned by this sudden, overwhelming display. He is a creature of strategy, used to exploiting weakness, but here he is confronted with a united front of sheer, intimidating beauty. He circles them, his sharp mind racing, looking for an opening, a blind spot, a moment of hesitation. He feints to the left, then lunges to the right, but the peacocks pivot with him, keeping their shimmering wall of eyes locked onto his every move. They stamp their powerful feet on the ground, a rhythmic, percussive threat. Their posture is firm, their beaks pointed forward, ready to strike. They are a fortress of two, and their defense is flawless. For several long, tense minutes, this standoff continues. It is a battle not of claws and teeth, but of psychology and nerve. The fox tests their resolve, probing their defenses again and again. But the peacocks do not yield. Their courage, born from the instinct to protect their territory and each other, is unbreakable. The fox, a pragmatist at heart, begins to understand. The energy required to break through this defense, the risk of injury from their sharp beaks and powerful legs, it's not worth the potential reward. With a final, frustrated snarl, he makes a calculated decision. He turns and melts back into the undergrowth, his hunt a failure. As the shadow of the predator vanishes, the two peacocks slowly, majestically lower their trains. The tension drains from the air, replaced once more by the peaceful whispers of the bamboo. They have not just survived, they have triumphed. They have proven that in the wild, beauty is not a sign of fragility, but can be a formidable, awe-inspiring weapon. Miles away, in a sun-dappled pine forest where the air is thick with the scent of resin and dry needles, our story picks up with another fox. But this is not the lone hunter from the bamboo grove. This is a vixen, a mother, and her world is defined by a fierce, unwavering sense of responsibility. Trotting behind her, stumbling over roots and playfully nipping at each other's tails, are her two young pups. They are small, filled with a clumsy, innocent curiosity about the vast world around them. For them, this journey is an adventure. For their mother, it is a lesson in survival. She guides them with a constant, vigilant awareness, her ears swiveling to catch the faintest sound, her nose testing every current of air. Every snap of a twig, every shadow that flickers in her peripheral vision is assessed and categorized as either safe or threat. Her primary instinct is not to hunt for herself, but to protect the precious, vulnerable lives that follow in her footsteps. As they round a bend in the path, they suddenly come upon a remarkable sight. Moving through the forest ahead is a large flock of peafels, a mix of the brilliantly colored males and the more subdued, earthy-toned peahens. It's a river of life flowing through the trees, the birds scratching at the forest floor for seeds and insects, their heads bobbing in a constant, jerky rhythm. They communicate with a series of soft calls, a network of sound that keeps the flock together. The mother fox immediately freezes. This is a potential danger. A single peafel might be a meal, but a flock this large is an unpredictable, powerful force. Her pups, however, see only a fascinating new spectacle and start to inch forward, their curiosity overriding their caution. Sensing the immediate threat this large group could pose to her naive young, the mother fox reacts not with predatory aggression, but with a bold, defensive posture. She lowers her head, flattens her ears, and lets out a sharp bark. She then lunges forward a few steps, not to attack, but to make a clear statement. Stay back. This is my space. These are my children. The reaction from the flock is instantaneous and coordinated. The gentle foraging stops. Dozens of heads snap up. The lead male, a magnificent peacock with a train that sweeps the pine needles, steps forward. He fans his tail, not in the full, glorious display of a courtship or a territorial challenge, but partially as a warning shield. The peahens, often overlooked but fiercely protected, gather together, creating a barrier between the vixen and the rest of the flock. They begin to beat their powerful wings against the air, not to fly, but to create a storm of noise and dust. It's a cacophony of fierce hisses, sharp calls, and the thunderous clap of feathers. It is a strategy of intimidation, a collective show of force designed to overwhelm and confuse a potential threat. The two fox pups, startled by the sudden explosion of sound and fury, immediately retreat behind their mother's legs, their adventure forgotten. The vixen holds her ground for another moment, her sharp eyes assessing the situation. She sees the unified front of the birds, the fierce determination in their eyes. She understands that this is a battle she cannot win, and more importantly, a risk she cannot afford to take with her pups in tow. There is no shame in retreat when it is guided by wisdom. With a final, sharp look, she turns, nudges her pups with her nose, and leads them away, taking a wide detour around the flock. She has taught them a critical lesson. Not every confrontation is necessary. Sometimes the greatest strength a parent can show is not in fighting, but in choosing the path of safety and prudence. As she and her pups disappear into the shadows of the pines, the flock of peafels slowly settles, their collective heartbeat returning to the calm rhythm of the forest. They have demonstrated the power of community, proving that even for a cunning predator, there is strength in numbers that simply cannot be overcome. Later that day, with her pups safely tucked away in the den, the mother fox hunts again. This time, she is alone. Her movements are different now, sharper, more focused, driven by the singular purpose of providing for her family. The weight of motherhood has honed her senses to a razor's edge. She is no longer just a protector, she is a provider, and failure is not an option. She moves through a denser part of the forest, a place of tangled roots and ancient, moss-covered stones. It is here, in this primal, quiet world, that she crosses paths with another solitary hunter. There is no sound, no warning. One moment the path is clear, the next it is blocked by a creature of pure, lethal elegance, a King Cobra. The snake is a masterpiece of deadly design. It scales a dark, polished armor that glimmers even in the dim light. It raises the upper third of its body from the forest floor, its famous hood flaring out, a clear and unmistakable sign of its agitation. Its black, lidless eyes are fixed on the Vixen, and a low, guttural hiss, like air escaping a punctured lung, vibrates through the ground. The air grows cold and heavy with the promise of venom. For most creatures, this would be the end. The sight of a flared cobra hood is a universal signal to flee. But the mother fox is not most creatures. She is driven by a hunger that is stronger than her fear, the hunger of her waiting children. She does not retreat. What follows is a lightning-fast duel, a blur of fur and scales. The cobra strikes first, lunging forward with a speed that is almost too fast for the eye to follow. Its fangs, capable of delivering a neurotoxin that can paralyze and kill within minutes, aim for the Vixen's face. But the fox is a dervish of motion. She dodges, weaving to the side with incredible agility, her paws barely seeming to touch the ground. The snake's deadly strike hits nothing but empty air. Before the cobra can recoil and strike again, the fox launches her own counterattack. She is a whirlwind of controlled aggression, darting in, biting at the snake's long, muscular body, and then leaping back out of range before it can retaliate. Her strategy is one of persistence and precision. She uses her speed as a weapon, her agility as a shield. She feints and dodges, tiring the larger predator, forcing it to expend its energy in fruitless strikes. Her bushy tail acts as a distraction, a flicker of red that draws the snake's attention for a critical split second, giving her an opening to land another quick, sharp bite. The forest, which moments before was silent, is now filled with the sounds of this desperate battle. The dry rustle of the cobra's scales on the leaf litter, the fox's sharp pants, and the menacing hiss of the serpent. It is a dance of death where a single misstep, a single moment of hesitation from the fox would mean a fatal end. But her persistence pays off. The cobra, powerful but not inexhaustible, begins to slow. Its strikes become less frequent, its movements less precise. It has met its match in this tenacious, fury-driven mother. Realizing that this is a fight that will cost it too much, even if it wins, the snake makes its choice. It lowers its hood, uncoils, and with a final, resentful hiss, slides away into the dark embrace of the undergrowth, a defeated shadow. The Vixen stands panting, her body trembling with adrenaline. She has faced down one of the forest's most feared predators and won. She does not rest for long. Her victory has a purpose. A short distance away, she finds what she was truly hunting for, a small rodent, now a meal secured for her family. With the food firmly in her jaws, she turns and trots back towards her den, a triumphant warrior returning home. She has stared into the face of death and emerged victorious, all for the sake of the young lives waiting for her in the dark. Before we witness the final, most dramatic confrontation of our story, we must pause and truly appreciate one of our protagonists. Let us reflect on the peacock. To simply call it a bird is a profound understatement. The peacock is a living, breathing work of art, a testament to the wild, unbridled imagination of nature itself. Its body is a canvas of deep, iridescent blues that shift and shimmer with every movement, from the velvety texture of its head and neck to the sapphire brilliance of its breast. It wears a delicate, wispy crest upon its head like a royal crown, each feather a tiny, intricate filament. But all of this is merely the prelude to its ultimate glory, its train. When a peacock fully spreads its tail, the world seems to stop for a moment. It is one of the most exquisite visual masterpieces the natural world has ever produced. A giant, fan-shaped tapestry of over 150 specialized feathers, it is a spectacle of impossible color. The vibrant greens are like polished emeralds, the blues are deeper than the deepest ocean, and the golds and bronzes glow with an inner fire. And then there are the eyes, the ocelli that decorate the tips of these feathers. Each one is a complex hypnotic pattern, a circle of deep cosmic blue, surrounded by rings of shimmering bronze, gold, and green. When the bird shivers its train, these 100 eyes seem to blink and watch, creating an effect that is both mesmerizing and intimidating. This display is not just for show. It is a declaration of health, of strength, of genetic fitness to a potential mate. It is a visual shout into the void, proclaiming its magnificence. It is nature's grand, audacious, and utterly beautiful paradox. A creature so stunning it seems too perfect for this savage world. Yet it is a product of that very world, shaped by the same pressures of survival as every other living thing. Now let us turn our gaze to its antagonist, the cobra. Where the peacock is a creature of light and ostentatious beauty, the cobra is a creature of shadow and silent, efficient lethality. It is a powerful predator, a master of ambush and patience. Its very form is the embodiment of deadly purpose. While its potent venom is its most famous weapon, allowing it to take down prey many times its size, the cobra's danger to the birds of the forest comes from a more specific, more insidious preference. The cobra has a deep-seated craving for eggs. Bird eggs are a perfect source of nutrition, a high-energy, defenseless meal neatly packaged by nature. This dietary preference makes the cobra a constant, looming threat to every nesting bird in its territory. It hunts not with the explosive charge of the fox, but with a terrifying, silent stealth. It can spend hours, even days, tracking a bird to its nest, memorizing its patterns, waiting for the perfect moment of opportunity. It moves through the undergrowth like flowing water, its scaled body making almost no sound on the dry leaves. It can climb trees with a slow, deliberate grace, its eyes always focused on the prize. For a mother bird on her nest, the sudden appearance of the cobra's dark, hooded head over the edge of her sanctuary is the materialization of her worst nightmare. Its presence signifies not just a threat to her own life, but a direct, mortal danger to the future of her bloodline. It is the ultimate villain in the story of nesting birds. A final chapter unfolds at the base of a great banyan tree, its tangled roots creating a small, sheltered alcove. Here, nestled in a carefully constructed hollow on the ground, a peahen, our mother peacock, sits on her nest. Her plumage is not the dazzling spectacle of her male counterpart. Instead, she is painted in the muted, practical colors of the earth, mottled browns, grays, and greens. She is camouflaged, designed not to attract attention, but to disappear into the background. For weeks, she has been the silent, patient guardian of her clutch of pale, precious eggs. They are her entire world, the culmination of all her biological purpose. Suddenly, a subtle change in the air alerts her, a flicker of movement in the shadows. Her head, which had been resting, snaps up, her dark eyes wide and alert. Then she sees him. Slithering slowly, deliberately, towards her nest is the King Cobra. The snake is not in a hurry. It moves with a chilling confidence, its forked tongue tasting the air, zeroing in on the scent of the eggs. It sees the peahen, but it does not see a threat. It sees only a temporary obstacle between it and its meal. In this moment, the gentle, nurturing mother bird is gone. She is replaced by something far more primal, far more ferocious. A wave of pure, unadulterated maternal instinct washes over her. Every fiber of her being screams one word: protect. She rises from her nest, placing herself directly in the cobra's path. She lets out a harsh, guttural cry, a sound utterly devoid of the peacock's usual majesty. It is a raw, desperate battle cry. The cobra flares its hood, hissing its displeasure at this unexpected defiance. It lunges, but the Peahen, powered by adrenaline and a love that is stronger than fear, is ready. She does not have the fox's agile dodging ability, but she has her own weapons. She meets the snake's venomous attack with a flurry of motion. She leaps into the air and brings her powerful legs down, her sharp claws and spurs raking at the snake's body. She beats her broad, strong wings, creating a confusing whirlwind of dust and feathers, striking the snake with surprising force. The cobra, momentarily rebuffed, strikes again and again. The Peahen counters every move. It is a desperate, brutal ballet. She uses her beak, sharp and pointed, to peck at the snake's eyes and hood. She kicks with a fury that belies her normally placid nature. She is David against Goliath, a creature of feathers and hollow bones against a muscular serpent filled with poison. She knows that a single mistake, a single well-aimed strike from the cobra, will mean her death. But her own death is not her primary concern. The thought of the snake reaching her eggs, of her legacy being extinguished before it has a chance to begin, fuels her with a courage she never knew she possessed. The battle rages, a whirlwind of brown feathers and black scales. The Peahen is tiring, and the cobra is relentless, but her sheer, indomitable spirit refuses to break. She screams her defiance at the serpent, a mother's rage given voice. She is no longer just a bird. She is a warrior, defending the most sacred thing in her world. Her ferocious, unwavering defense begins to do the one thing the cobra did not expect. It makes the fight too costly. The snake, accustomed to intimidating or quickly dispatching its victims, is being injured, pecked, and battered by this feathered fury. Finally, with one last, desperate lunge that the Peahen narrowly avoids, the cobra seems to make a decision. This meal is not worth this fight. It slowly, reluctantly lowers its hood. With a final, venomous glare, it turns and slithers away, disappearing back into the shadows from whence it came. The Peahen stands, panting, her body bruised and shaking. She watches until the last trace of the snake is gone. Only then does she allow the warrior to recede and the mother to return. She hobbles back to her nest and gently, carefully, settles herself back over her eggs, covering them with the warmth and safety of her own body. She has faced the ultimate evil, and through sheer force of will and a mother's love, she has won. As the sounds of the forest fade, we are left to ponder what we have seen. We have witnessed the cunning retreat of a fox, the strategic defense of a flock, a life-or-death duel in the shadows, and the awe-inspiring courage of a mother defending her nest. These are not just dramatic stories. They are powerful allegories for our own lives. The world of these animals, in all its raw beauty and cruelty, is a mirror. In the strategic retreat of the peacocks and the mother fox, we see the wisdom of choosing our battles. Life will constantly present us with confrontations. True strength isn't always about charging headfirst into every fight. Sometimes it's about having the wisdom and self-awareness to know when to stand down, conserve your energy, and walk away to protect what is most important. In the mother fox's duel with the cobra, we see the incredible power of purpose. She wasn't fighting for sport or territory. She was fighting for the lives of her children. When you have a why that is powerful enough, a family to provide for, a dream to achieve, a value to uphold, it can give you the courage to face down the most terrifying cobras in your own life, whether they be fear, doubt, or adversity. And finally, in the Peahen's heroic stand, we find the purest, most powerful force in nature, a mother's love. She, a creature of peace and beauty, transformed into an indomitable warrior, willing to sacrifice everything for the future she carried within her nest. It reminds us that within each of us, there is a reserve of incredible strength that we may not even know we possess until something we love is threatened. We all have our nests to protect, our families, our principles, our passions, our dreams. These stories teach us that survival isn't just about strength or beauty, but about adaptability, wisdom, community, and courage. They teach us that even in a world that can seem harsh and unforgiving, there is a profound and breathtaking beauty in the struggle for life. So I want to ask you a few things to think about. Which animal's strategy did you connect with the most? The peacock's defiant beauty, the fox's cunning pragmatism, or the peahen's fierce, protective love? And what is the nest in your own life that you would defend with that same passion and courage? Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey today. I hope it has left you with a renewed sense of awe for the natural world, and perhaps a little more insight into the wild, beautiful spirit that resides within you. And if you found value and inspiration in this story, please consider subscribing to our channel. There are countless more stories waiting to be told.